I've been watching the viral döner trend and I said, tamam, yes, it's my turn now. I wanted it to feel like something you can really want to give it a try with the perfection and as much as the famous taste of the döner kebab. So we are going to make the döner with the mincemeat, the chicken döner version, and cook the chicken döner in the air fryer. We also gonna make the Tombic bread, kind of a pita but very soft and easy to make and puffs up beautifully. If you want an easy Turkish street food day in your kitchen, you are in the right place. Let's begin. First, I begin by making my puffed pita bread, gobit in Turkish. Here I have mix of yogurt and milk. This is the end of the yogurt, so I wanted to get every bit. So I poured some warm water to clean the container and added more warm water to complete into 1 cup. Then added 20 grams of fresh yeast. You can add a tablespoon of dry yeast and tablespoon of sugar. Stir for a time for 10 seconds. Wait for 5 minutes to activate the yeast. Then add about 5 to 5.5 cups of flour first. And continue to add more until you have a smooth, a little bit on the sticky side dough. And over the flour, don't forget to add about 2 teaspoons of salt. It is one of the handiest tools I use in the kitchen. This plastic dough scraper. I'm gonna rest my dough for about 1 hour and meanwhile making my minced meat döner mixture. I'm gonna use 1 medium size onion and 1 clove of garlic. Going to process them first. You can also grate them, but this is the easiest way whenever you make köfte, kebab, in this case even döner. My meat has a 20% fat around and it is 600 grams. Adding teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of paprika, black pepper, cumin. You can add even more. It likes the spices. And a fourth of a teaspoon of baking soda and fourth of a cup of cold water. I just added the rest of the meat, about a third of it at the last minute so I can mix it easily. Of course, if your food processor is not that big enough, you can mix everything by hand after processing the onion. This is gonna rest and then later I'm gonna add the yogurt. Okay, my dough is almost risen. I'm gonna shape in a bit. And the yaprak döner mixture is resting in the fridge. I'm gonna add as a final touch some yogurt. Meanwhile, I want to soak my rice. I'm making this as a dinner. So I will serve with rice on the side. But you can also make it as a wrap or with the lavash bread. I'm also gonna make the Tombic bread we have. We can enjoy some with Tombik döner or I can freeze them for later use too. Added some salt and some warm water. Going to soak for about half an hour, 45 minutes. After I'm done shaping the döner and gobit bread, I'm gonna cook my rice pilav. My friends, I appreciate if you like the video. If you think it is helpful, make sure to give thumbs up, leave your comments and share the video so others can also see and I can continue to create more content. Thank you. In about an hour, my dough has doubled in amount and I'm going to cut them into 14 pieces. If you want to make them bigger, you can cut into 12. It is very soft, as you can see. Use less flour as much as you need and turn them into even size balls. Then I rolled them into about 12 to 14 centimeter in diameter and placed them into a tray that I lined with baking paper. They're gonna rest for another half an hour to rise a little bit, and then we'll go into hot oven preheated to 220 Celsius degree. Make sure to cover with dampened cloth, otherwise the dough can get dry. Before shaping the doner mixture, I added 2 tablespoons of yogurt. It wasn't on my hand, so I ordered it. That's why I added in the last minute. And about 2-3 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. I will put third of it, about 200 grams, into a baking paper. I'm gonna dip my spoon into water so it doesn't stick. It's not very sticky, but in case you need to shape with your hand, you need to touch, you can dip your hands into water. Or oil would work as well too. Later I also used that. We want it to be very thin, so I will put the second baking paper and going to roll with my rolling pin. It might be a little bit tricky at the first hand. You can scrape down the excess here and then put to another side. I'm gonna take out the excess meat here and then carefully take out the top part. I'm just gonna fold this with the baking paper together. Okay, like this. And I'm gonna shape the other two as well. It's not that hard to, of course, roll it between 2 sheets, but if you have a thicker baking paper, which is the brown ones, it might work even better to shape it. Because if the baking paper is thin, it tends to get soggy after a couple of use. I wanted to cut one from half. I'm gonna freeze them and bake them later in the air fryer. Bake in preheated 190 Celsius degree oven and add some green peppers and tomatoes to serve on the side or for the wrapping, and bake for about 15-17 minutes. Don't over bake them to keep the juice and not to get dry. And here is that beautiful look. We have our leaf doner in very short time to make. It absolutely smells beautiful and was so easy to bring them together. I wanted to tear them and to show you just hold, but it was too hot, so wait for 5 to 10 minutes and then you can easily tear it and continue to bake like a broil for a couple of more minutes, or even you can do that in the pan too with some butter. I'm gonna show you that in the second version using the chicken doner. So my perfectly done gobit bread was holding lots of the ingredients I put from the doner, and some red onion salad with sumac, a pickled cabbage, and some iceberg lettuce salad with yogurt. Okay, I'm ready to eat. Let's see how it's gonna taste. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The minced meat döner was very thin. Make sure you don't overcook them. When I look at it, I cannot even guess that it is made with minced meat. And it was so easy to bring it together. The secret beautiful taste you get under whichever kebab you eat in Turkey. It's tail fat. We didn't add today because I wanted to make it with the ingredients you can find easily. Another way would be to mix 30% lamb with 70% beef and make sure your meat is a little bit on the fat side, 20% fat. You can also pour some browned butter on top, drizzle it as we do when making Iskender kebab. It is also perfect to make that as well. Okay, the second day I'm trying now the same recipe with chicken breast. I have medium size onion and garlic going to process. I will cut them shorter. You don't have to forward it. Adding the spices additional to the ones I used with the minced meat. I also added some thyme, oregano, and this time wanted to make it without using breadcrumbs. But my friends, actually it is better to use some because it holds the juice inside the meat, the mixture, and helps to make a better shape. So it's gonna rest with all the flavors, the spices in the fridge. I always like to close whatever I have with this plate, so you don't have to use always a stretch film and save the world a little bit from your end. So this time I cut my baking paper smaller so it can fit into my air fryer, and of course I used less mixture too. I decided to use silicone mat for easy cleaning later because the mixture can go out from the sides, and then roll it thinly again as we did with the mincemeat döner. It was a little bit harder to work with the chicken minced meat because it tends to get softer, so I would recommend using breadcrumbs with this version too. So I shaped 3 of them again and baked in the air fryer in 190 Celsius degree for about 15 minutes. Again, since we are going to fry them with the butter extra, you don't need to cook all the way, and we don't want it to be dry either. I used chicken breast, but you can also use a chicken thigh, would be even more delicious. Well, again, you can continue to fry a little bit in the oven. It is better to fry them with some butter. You can control how much you want to brown them without even drying the döner. I want to give extra taste to my lavash bread, tortilla bread. So I quickly mix some tomato paste with olive oil, chili flakes, pul biber, and oregano, and brush my lavash bread with this mixture. I'm going to grill a little bit to heat up before wrapping the beautiful chicken doner. This time as a green I used some arugula along with my mixed pickled cabbages and fresh iceberg. First I rolled to eat as a one person for like a dürüm, then wanted to cut the middle to show you and to see. It was perfectly delicious and yummy. Well, I'm pretty happy with the result. Everything came out perfect. The mincemeat döner surprisingly amazing and holds its shape very good to use either on top of the pilav or as a sandwich or a wrap to use. I hope you give them a try and let me know how they turn out. Thanks for spending the time with me today and I'll see you in the next episode. Afiyet olsun.